Here we go, No Chof Des podcast on the OLB. It's a match review. Match review, huh? 0-0 draw against FC Kairat from Kazakhstan. I'm Stel. I've got Roy here with me. What do you think of that, Roy, by the way, before I say hello to you properly? What do you think of this program interruption thing that came up? It was quite funny, wasn't it?
Yeah, listen, man. I know what I'm about to say is illegal, but everyone knows it. I've got the opportunity to watch the games. The truth is, usually when Omonoia plays on away games, I go to pubs with mates and I watch the game. And I realized the last couple of times when we watched the games away from home that they had the opportunity to watch it. So I didn't know. I wasn't sure up until the last minute if I was going to stay at home to watch the game or go elsewhere. And then I went through my dream box. Okay, I said it. Arrest me. But yeah, I had the opportunity to watch it through the dream box. So yeah, it was okay.
Was it on Ode? Was it on Ode
Yeah,
you watched it on?
Yeah, it was Monet, whatever it's called.
Because I've got the same one as you. Don't worry about it. It's the little black box.
Yeah. So there you go. So yeah, add a few seconds difference from the live, but that gave me a couple of heart attacks at time. But all in all, that's I watched it. There's no freezing, no stopping me from watching the game. But
so you didn't get that beautiful little message with the lovely music.
No, actually, when I tried to watch it from C Division, it just said the game is unavailable because apparently I've got the package for the Cypriot League, not the European games.
Okay, all right, fair enough.
Yeah,
fair enough. Well, anyway, at least you can watch these games because in the UK we don't have it. Fortunately, I have C Division on the phone.
Cheers, mate.
See here, I got my Durice mug because he should have come on. But anyway.
Yeah, I had
it is what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah.
By the way, have you seen this T-shirt that Omonoia Edits made?
Ah, nice one, man. Nice one. Hey, Omonoia Edits is nice, man.
It's the bollocks, man.
Yeah,
the bollocks.
The dog's bollocks.
Yeah, dog's bollocks. So hopefully we'll get the online shop sorted, and hopefully we'll get the online shop sorted, and people can start purchasing these T-shirts. There's going to be loads of designs made. So yeah, man, it's looking good. It's looking good. So let's talk about this game then, right? Because prior to kickoff, we were guessing our lineups. We were talking about certain players in certain positions, and me and Chris were discussing Stel and how he could be better utilized. And I believe I said something along the lines of he will play better in a three central defenders. And lo and behold, we go with a 3-4-2-1, and Stel is playing in the middle of a three. So first of all, your thoughts on the team lineup, and secondly, your thoughts on the system that Henningberg chose to play.
In all honesty, Henningberg has proved the last year or so that he's stubborn and selfish. I don't mean it in a bad way. When he chooses something to do, when he's got something on his mind, usually he sticks by it, even through thick and thin. So even though we did realize and we addressed and we spoke a little bit about the defensive mistakes we had the last few weeks, I wasn't sure. The characteristic of this game is the uncertainty that I felt for everything. I didn't know how we were going to start, which players were going to come in. I didn't know a lot about their opponents. Obviously, the ground was also like the surface of the football pitch was different. It was an AstroTurf rather than a grass pitch. So there were a lot of questions in my mind that were unanswered, and that's something difficult, because even in when we're playing locally, in the league, there are times that you don't know what to expect. This time around, I really didn't know what to expect. I mean, I expected that we were going to bring on some different players. I expected some Alayes in the squad. in all honesty, when you mentioned it the other day after the defeat we had from Mike, I wasn't confident in my mind that we were going to change a lot, but we did. And from the results, it seems like it worked. It worked. Juste was played the role of the leader in the back line, and I think he did well, even though I had my doubts about that. I'm still gonna say that Lang was the weakest link from the defense. He had some lapses of concentration. Psaltis, the first half was with Bashiru, the two contenders for man of the match in my mind, because we saw something that we haven't seen in quite some time. The right back pushing up and creating chances. We missed a few chances, and Psaltis was the protagonist of those chances we had. And that was nice to see that Lejax wasn't the only one pushing up. All in all, I was pleased to see that we tried something different, because it was obvious that the formation we stuck to and we were trying to play the previous weeks wasn't working. Hello, Chris.
Hello, boys.
Wasn't what's up? Wasn't working 100%. So it was good to see that, you know, we've got other options when the shit hits the fan. So yeah, I'm gonna stick to that, and I'm gonna let you and Chris speak a little bit, so I don't take over, and then, you know, maybe I'll come back to some of my opinions.
Do you know what the question I wanted to ask Chris the moment he came on was the system that we put tonight or this afternoon, however which way you want to call it. It was very similar to the system that we played against Bark in the Europa League last season at home when we won 2-1. Although obviously Loizo wasn't playing right wing back, and it was Psati in that position, and obviously a few other players. But what I liked most about this system was that we had two men playing off one, and that it allowed us to stretch the game a bit more, because if our wing backs weren't getting forward, Iai was moving wide right, Fodi was moving wide left, and we're opening up the gaps, which enabled Gago to play off the defender's shoulder. The problem with that is we didn't have many players moving central when the ball was played out wide, and we weren't overloading the penalty area. But Chris, when you saw that system and you saw the two in behind the one, what did you think we were going to do from an attacking perspective?
I like it because a lot of people can think that it's very defensive because you're playing three defenders, but a lot of people forget that you also have the wing backs to the Gendro. We saw from Salti, we saw from Jan. It was very attacking. We only finished the chances, it would have been better, but I like the formation. Daxi also makes the defenders feel a little bit more comfortable. Sometimes when you're playing two, and then Bolane da pramada, but you saw it today. You just show Juste, you show Banayodu, a little more compact σήμερα, and I enjoyed it. I think we could have went for the win, but I'm not complaining. A point away from home, I think it's going to be good.
And I think, to be honest, last season was a massive learning curve for us, knowing our limits and our limitations in Europe. If this was last season, Henning Bird probably would have gone 4-4-2 or 4-2-3-1. But I think because he knew away from home, get every point counts. So if you'd have told me before this game that we'd get a point, I'd have taken it straight up, right? So he's probably thought, let's go with three at the back. We've got the wing backs, I can go forward and contract back. Obviously, they were going to be more of a threat, Kairat, through the middle with Vagler Love, with that Kante player. They didn't really get us in wide areas. It was more central. Even when they were pressing, it was man for man, but more central. When Yordi got the ball, they were pressing. When Bashiru got the ball, they were pressing. But they only pressed in at certain times of the game. It wasn't all the time. So the first 10, 15 minutes, they were pressing. We looked a little bit lackluster at the beginning, but that's probably because we were still getting used to that system. We weren't passing the ball as quick as I would have liked. That being said,
the turf.
and the turf still. Absolutely. But as the game progressed, we grew into it. And I think we were very unlucky not to come away with a win, in all fairness. All right, Wagner Love had an opportunity one-on-one, which if this was 5 or 6 years ago, he probably would have put it away. But Loizo had a chance. If he was 5 or 6 years older, he'd have put it across the goalkeeper, because that's what he's going to say. But listen, all in all, if you'd have told me before the game we're walking away with a point, I'd be happy with that. If you told me we're walking away with a clean sheet and a point, bomba. That's good for me. I'm happy with that. Chris?
Hopefully the clean sheet will give them some confidence, because our defense hasn't been on the point. Hopefully, and listen, if you would ask me, would I stick to the same formation for the Prodathima? Why not? Because that allows the wing backs to be more attacking. Because you've got 3 there. And if you compare like maybe a 3-4-1-2, if Babu is okay, he can play like a number 10 and play 2 strikers, as an example I'm saying right now. I don't know if it will work, but I don't mind that formation. What do you think?
Well, look, Bedros has put out a message here. We have problems. We don't have many chances. And when the teams press us high, we only make mistakes. The thing is, I get what he's saying, but the reason why we're making mistakes is because, as I said in the last show when we lost against Ike, give and go. Give the ball, go, move into spaces. And once the players start moving into triangles, in rectangles, and giving each other space, you're going to see a lot more better football. And we did that second half today. Like Loizo's chance came from the right-hand side where there was interplay and people were moving. So these things, it's a work in progress. Okay, and don't forget, this was a new system to a lot of these players for us. I don't think Banayodu played in the 3 last season. Did he play in the 3 last season? Sati didn't play for us last season, so he didn't play in a 3 at the back. Bashiru, obviously, Zahari. Exactly, Zahariu. That front 3 in the second half was very inexperienced. That's a total age of 63 there, boys. Yeah, it's a total age of 63. This fucking legend is here.
Oh my God.
This legend is here. This is what I'm talking about, yeah?
Oh my God.
There you go. So he's a G. He's a gangster.
Oh my God.
Yeah?
Oh my
God.
He's a legend, man.
He's one of us. He's one of us.
Legend.
And this is the thing, right? A lot of these players aren't used to the system that we're playing right now. Okay, so we can't give them too much stick. And I understand what Pedro was saying in the sense of, when our defenders have the ball, they're under a lot of pressure. But that's because the opponents press. That's why, I don't know if you guys noticed, Yordi and Bashiri were dropping much deeper in support of the defensive 3. So we got it spot on today. We got it absolutely spot on. I can't turn around. Maybe 1 or 2 things I say we did wrong. Maybe Banayodu, instead of trying to head the ball, he could have cleared it with his feet when Wagner Love took it off him. And in the last chance of the first half, when the ball dropped, Yuste was looking at the ball instead of the man. He didn't have his body right. He should have been more behind the forward. But okay, Fabi dealt with it. It's a good performance overall. I can't nitpick, boys. I can't find any major faults with this.
Stel Christopher Marasbo. Before the game, I exchanged messages with a player, okay? And I was like, what do you think of the game? He's like, I think we might win 1-0, but I'll be happy to get the draw. And I was like, you know what? I'd be happy to get a point away from home because I don't know the opponents. Εντάξει, σήμερα εδοκιάσαμε έναν καινούριο σύστημα, and that's the thing that, on the one hand, Berg seems like a conservative προπονητή, and at the same time, he's like the most ballsy. He decided to keep a player outside the squad just to get him ready for the πρωτάθλημα. Εντάξει, when we knew we had some issues. And then he goes and plays a completely different system for the first time, away from home, with a team that we don't know. Obviously, they did the homework a lot more than what we did. Stel had a guest last night on the No Choftes podcast that, I think it's worth having a look. And because, we got the second game and things are not going to be a lot different. So you guys should go ahead and watch what that guy had to say about our opponents. But I think that, you know, after the game finished, I feel content. Obviously, you know, you always feel like if you were a little bit luckier, if you were a bit more ballsy, if you tried a bit more, if you had more experience, you could have scraped the win and got off with the 3 points, which financially means a lot. Experience, it means a lot, and it builds a lot of character. But it's a fucking point away from home against a team that's seeded higher than us. It's got a bigger budget. We played in a ground and a surface that's unfamiliar to us.
And don't forget, Roy, they're halfway through their season as well.
Yeah, they've played 20.
They played about 20, 25 games this season. We're on our 8th, 9th.
So that's the thing. Omonoia is giving you δεν ξέρω πώς το λαλείτε στα αγγλικά. Στην Κύπρο λαλούμε σκοτσέζοι κοντούς. Εσύ μπορώ να ξέρεις ρε Κριστόφερ, επειδή είσαι σκοτσέζος μισός. Αλλά ρε φίλε, it's one game, we're playing and you think, okay, we played well. Then the next game you're like, what the fuck are we doing? Then
Jekyll and Hyde, is that what you're talking about? Yeah.
Ναι ρε φίλε, ότι εγκριόντζεσαι στον ντους. It's like you're having a shower and you fucking have piping hot water on you, and then it's like freezing cold.
Yes, senor, no, you're in. Yeah, okay, Perry.
No, it was a bit like I think it was a bit like last year.
That's the title of the podcast, Kate.
Oh, Jesus. Well, actually, do you know what? My mate's wife is actually a Katy Perry tribute act. She looks just like Katy Perry. If I'm going to try and get a picture up on her, man. Yeah.
I keep forgetting that more people watch us because I think it's just like a private conversation. I was about to say something now, but I'm just going to shut up.
Chris, tell me something, yeah? When you saw the front three in the second half, Loizo, Zahario, and Gagu, I wasn't getting angry, but I was getting a little bit frustrated because I thought all three of them are relatively young, very inexperienced at this level. I'd have loved to see Dura come on, perhaps in the last 20 minutes to hold the line a bit, because Gagu was running on fumes, it seemed, because he was chasing a lot of the game. Do you know what I mean? And there was a couple of incidents where, like, for example, when Kairat played the ball, it was a back pass. I don't know if you remember this one, but there was a back pass and Gagu wasn't paying attention. He went straight to the keeper. But if he was more experienced, he'd have latched onto that.
Could have nipped it.
Do you know what I mean? But I'm not picking holes. I'm just saying that perhaps a few things could have been done differently. And there was another opportunity where it was 2-on-3 and Gagu was taking the ball and Zahari was on his own. And
that's when I was moaning in the group that he could have simply passed the ball. Actually, it's an experience.
This is an experience. But these are things that he will learn. And this goes back to what I was saying about if we had someone like Dura there, for example, you'd have had that extra bit of nous, you know. But again, I can't pick major holes. Put it this way, boys. The two main opportunities that they had against us were from set pieces in the first half. And both of them were near post, flicked on. One of them, Fabi turned onto the bar, and the other one was headed over the bar. Those were the two serious opportunities they had, apart from obviously Wagner loves. So 3 opportunities in 90 minutes. Again, I think that's a professional performance.
Away from home.
Henning Berg was pragmatic. He learned from last season's mistakes. He probably felt, let's go into this game, get a point, go home, happy days. And as Paul said yesterday on the show, you're talking about different time zones. That they only got there yesterday. You know, they didn't have like 24, 40 hours to prepare. It was literally land, go to the hotel, go to the training, go to the stadium to play to train on the pitch, and then you're playing 24 hours later. Not even that. 12 hours.
Everything plays around.
I'm going to say something that I don't know if I should, but I will. I said earlier that I spoke to a player, and you know, we were discussing about the game and generally about what was going on. And it's Chepa, okay? And he told me that, you know, he decided together with Henningberg that, you know, traveling for so many hours to another country when he's not ready, it was better for him to train 2 or 3 days, you know, in Cyprus, with the trainers, with τους προπονητές φυσικής κατάστασης, ας πούμε, so he can be ready for the next game. So even that, okay, the result was good, so we can speak from a different level, you know, because if we had lost, God forbid, we might have had a different conversation. Αλλά το που θέλω να πω είναι ότι ακόμα και τούτο με το Τσέπα, ας πούμε, σκεφτήκαμε το. He was out for 3-4 weeks. He played a friendly game. Then he played with Ike and he seemed that he was tired. And they took a ballsy decision not to take your number one center forward to a game away from home. It's a ballsy decision. But at the same time, they took a decision that is like, you know what, we're going to be traveling for so many hours. Then we're going to travel back. And that guy is not full fitness. So would I want to have him on the bench? Or, for example, when you said, Stel, about Dura coming on, and I agree that Dura could have came on, yeah? But if we had Chepa for the last 15 or 20 minutes, maybe he could have made the difference as well. I'm not saying Dura wouldn't, okay, but they decided...
Yeah, do you know what? I agree, but on the flip side, where's he gone?
Yeah, what the fuck's going on?
He's dropping like flies. He's dropping like some of our players. Maybe he's got injuries now. I don't know. Maybe his Wi-Fi has got injuries. I don't know. But no, the thing is, we know that Shepard's got a bit of a hamstring injury, right? So him coming on with 20 minutes to go would have been a good idea. But then again, on that surface, would you want to risk him? Because it was a heavy surface as well. So if he turned quickly, if he might have pulled up. And the next thing you know, he's out for 6 to 8 weeks. So, you know, I get what you're saying, but why Dura was sat there? There you go, Mihaly. Why is he a bench warmer? I don't know. But it is what it is, unfortunately. But look, we can't keep picking holes in this game. Let's see some of the comments there. Pedro.
Yeah. Oh, that's my boy. This is one of the best guys. Top blog. Pedro mu, Levendi mu. Seem to me that
Henningberg is trying to have a decent
maintain the focus. What do you guys think? I'm pretty sure I'm going to have this conversation with Pedro in the days to come, but what do you guys think?
Chris, go on, what's your opinion, mate?
About Pedro's question?
Yeah, do you think Henningberg is going to have a crack at the Conference League?
I think so. I don't think να το πάρει χαλαρά. I mean, είσαι τζάμε γιατί να με παίξεις. Ναι, το πλάθημα priority, but I still think we have a chance. Γιατί όχι. You can. Έχεις παίχτες. Έχεις τους μίτσους.
You got a point away from home on the opening game, so...
Exactly. Πιας πόντο να στη σπίτι σου. If you beat them down here, that's 4 points και προχωράς. It's very good job που μας έντορα. And again, hopefully they use this momentum to the confidence going forward because we need it after the first match.
I think Henningberg has obviously upgraded the squad this season. We've got cover in practically every single side of the pitch. Can anyone turn around and tell me that we don't have more than 2 players in one position?
I want to say something at this point because it was something I was thinking about the other day, and it's something that I said that when we were guests at Janos on the Netcast Zone, you remember about a month ago still, I said that the advantage Omonoia had in comparison to other teams is that we kept a backbone from last season. But I also mentioned that a necessary prerequisite for us to be competitive this season is that the players who were good last season should have continued playing at if not at a better level, at the same level. And what do I mean by that? Fabiano was the best keeper, okay, of the season. No doubt about that. The best in Omonioia's history and one of the best in the Cypriot League. Lesiaks was the best left back with 13 or 14. I can't even remember how many assists he gave. And at the same time, he was good defensively. Gusulos was the best Cypriot player and the most improved player in the league. Michael, Lang, and Hubo were the best defensive line in the league. Thiago was a decisive player. He was a right-foot player playing on the left. And he was
it was the diagonal runs he was making into spaces which destroyed teams.
Exactly. Also, Ernest
has gone like Thiago.
Okay, he's got to come back though. He's on a loan. Ernest took some time, and when we started playing 4-4-2, he found the pockets of space, and he gave some. Ernest or Eric also did. So the necessary prerequisite for this season is that we expect that the players who were really good last season are going to be there. Michael's not there. Thiago's not there. Gusulo is not there. It seems like the defense is having some issues. Shehu last year was, at least defensively, one of the best right backs of the season. This year, he seems a little bit off shape. Lang, again, for the reasons we explained earlier. So we still need, I mean, the names and the quantity of players we have. It seems like we are better than last season, but up until now, we haven't gelled so much to the extent that I can say comfortably that we are better than last season.
Yeah, but on paper, though, when you look at the squad depth, on paper, I'm not talking about gel. If you look at the comparison, it's a much deeper squad. Okay, for me, if Michael was still here, I would say easily we're getting out of that group, easily, because we have that organization at the back. That's the one thing that we've lacked defensively most, anyway. That's what I would say. We've lacked the organization. People don't know what they're doing. But today was the first sign of some cohesion. You know, I felt comfortable and used to playing that libero role where he got the ball, brought the ball out of defense, playing 10-yard balls, diagonal balls to the wing backs. I think Shehu would have done well in that system as well, because him playing 5 or 10 yards further up the field, he'd have been able to penetrate them more. But like going back to what I was saying before, I think that we've learned from last season. I think Berg's seen this and thought, right, we've got a squad strong enough to compete for the title, to regain the title, but we also have the depth to get out of this group. I think he's seen this group and thought, right, FC Basel, always going to be difficult, home or away. And it doesn't even matter what FC Basel it is. A mid-table FC Basel, a top FC Basel, doesn't matter. They're still going to be difficult. Karabag, another difficult team. We saw how they did IL, but then again, they just about scraped through against IL, right? So I can't say that they're going to be extremely difficult, but I can't say that they're going to be a piss-easy team, especially away from home. This lot, who we saw today, they're beatable. They're beatable, and I think we'll beat them at home. So all in all, I think Berg is looking at this squad and saying, right, we can get out of this group. We might scrape out of this group, but that's progress.
Yep.
Yeah, but I've said many times on podcasts that in the Cypriot League, we should respect opponents, but maybe not so much. In Europe, it's a completely different story. You shouldn't ever underestimate any opponent, because for them to reach a point where they're competing in a group stage in Europe, it means that they should get your full respect, okay? And that's the case, especially with teams that we don't know a lot about their history, okay? Today was a step in the right direction. It's going to be similar, I think, with the next game with not the team from Switzerland, but the other team. I think it's going to be a similar game. We can bring them back to our home ground and try at least to fight for something better. It's not going to be easy because, in the Conference League, only the first team goes through, is guaranteed to go through to the next round. The teams that rank second will play with teams that rank third in the Europa League, and that will be difficult. But okay, we should try and give it our all. This is what I think.
Same.
Are you guys worried that there might be a bit of burnout? And by that I mean there's Europe. There's
Sir, can I go to the toilet?
Yeah, you can go to the toilet, man. Just wash your hands, please, after you're done. Okay, please wash your hands after you're done. Okay. I'll ask you that question, Ray, because I know there's going to be more international games coming out. I think October time, and obviously we saw numerous players from the going to Ethniki. Obviously, Dura is retired from international football, but obviously we've got the African lads that might be going.
Yeah.
Are you worried that there might be a bit of a burnout? And on top of that, we might have some, because the thing is with me, I don't like the international break for various reasons. Obviously, the football is shit, but when you're in form and you're building momentum, the last thing you want is a break.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes it's good to have a break, especially if you're doing shit, and that international break is great. But do you think that we might have a problem in that respect?
There's always a worry there of that happening. But hopefully, if we get some players back in time and we can do a nice rotation between the European games and the Prodatlima, hopefully the international break won't affect us that much, because we still have a lot of players to come back. I forget about that sometimes and I'm moaning about the performances, but we have a lot of players that are going to come back. Αλλά πάντα, εντάξει, υπάρχει ανησυχία του να κρούσουν οι παίχτες, because it's not an easy thing. European international πρωτάθλημα, it's not an easy job. It's tiring.
Fucking hell, man. You rent beer, you don't buy it, man. I just had beers and I had to piss them out, man.
we've got one here saying we need a striker, a killer in front of goal. Look, the way I see it, guys, is if you got goals all over the pitch, which we do have, you don't need the 20, 30 goal striker. And what's to say that Shepa can't get 15, 20 goals this season in all competitions? What's to say you can't do that?
I have a feeling since his brother scored 2, that's going to kick him in a little bit. His ego's going to come. He's going, my brother's going to score 2. It would be good.
Yeah. And this question here, right? I think this is just, I don't know whether our friend here is trying to troll me.
That's for you.
Whether he's trying to provoke a reaction. But I think this is something that Roy and I have discussed time after time after time. And I feel like it's a broken record. I need to find the podcast where I've spoken about Dura in general and just replay it time and time again, because my stance hasn't changed on the player. It hasn't changed. His experience, what he does off the ball, will hurt a lot of teams, and we've seen it in the past. But because everyone is focused on Loizo and Johnny's and this one scoring goals and Dura's goal scoring record, they don't see what he does off the ball. I'm not going to go into this anymore. I'm tired of it.
I'll say something else, Stel. I'll say something else. You remember last season when we played against Apollon and we lost, and I got a fucking fit. I was like, guys, shut the fuck up. We don't have any other options. These are the players we have to fight the title with, and these are the players. So similarly, adding to what you said about Dura, okay, I agree 100% with what you're saying about Dura. But for people who are bitching about Dura, we can't do anything at this moment with Dura. Okay, we can't sign another. The only options we have up until the 30th of September is to sign a player on loan from the league here in Cyprus. So Dura is part of our squad. So rather than just complaining about what Dura can do, let's just, stand behind him.
Back the team also.
Back the team up. Back him up. And no, I haven't seen anyone say that, maybe it's psychological, maybe it's the way the team plays, maybe it's that we're not creating much, maybe, but I'm not trying to diss the people who are complaining. I can also understand. I understand that Dura when it comes to statistics and goal ratio or whatever, he hasn't offered what we expected. And I can understand, like even the game against Dyke, we said, if Matt was there, Matt would have scored a goal. But if Matt was there, it would have been a different game. It would have been a different style of play. And Larku and Berg have proved time and time again that they are not fans of players who are very good at just doing one thing. Okay. They want, like the number 10, for example. There's people saying, why didn't we sign a number 10 and why didn't we sign Zahid? And why? Because Zahid doesn't defend as well as Bashiru or Mix, as πούμε. Why do we sign a striker? Because they don't track back like Dura and Chepa do. That's the reason why.
Berg likes workhorses as well, don't forget. Berg loves someone that works their ass off.
And that's the thing,
you know, Matt will do that.
We might not like it as fans. We might prefer something different, but this is how Mr. Berg wants to play.
Yeah.
So
there's one here, right, where he says we did stand and we did back him up a long time. He has nothing to offer now. Okay, let me dispel this myth straight away, because cast your minds back to last season when Matt left, Dura came in, and immediately people thought that he was the man to replace Matt Derbyshire. Yeah. So he was on a hiding to nothing from day one. Much as if and when Henning Berg goes, the next guy that takes over, he's the guy that's taken the mantle. So he's on a hiding to nothing from day one. Okay? I agree. I agree. Dura's goal scoring record isn't great. It's appalling. It's shambolic. But as I say time and time again, he works hard. What he does off the ball, right? You can't doubt his ability, his knowledge of the game, his reading of the game. He's a nuisance, okay? And to be fair, you can shit on Dura as much as you want, okay? But the fact is, you're also shitting on Guggle when you do that. Because when I hear, oh, we need a killer, we need a striker, well, Shepherd scores goals, but he's injured, right? What about Guggle? What about his development? Why aren't people talking about him and saying, well, you know what, give him a chance? Because we saw him scoring against Antwerp, and it was beautiful. We saw him score against Apollon in the last home game of the season, or last game of the season. It was beautiful. So when Guggle scores, it's, oh, he's the next one, or he's this, he's great, he's this. But then when he's not scoring, oh, we need a killer. Well, no, what we need are more goals from all over the pitch. We
did that. Look, last year, Chepa scored 8. Ernest scored 7 or 8. Fodi scored 7. Marino scored 7. Kusu scored 3 or 4. So, okay, I can understand that, you know, what fans want is to have an alternative solution when the shit hits the fan. So, as Pumen, today, if I had a killer, maybe in the 2 or 3 chances that we created today, we could have won the game. It could have been the decider. But, you know, fans always think just συγκεκριμένα. Εν σκέφτονται γενικά, ρε φίλε. Καταλάβες. Εν τον που είπες εσύ πριν. Ωραία. Πέτε ότι είχαμε τον Ματ φέτος. Είχαμε τον Ματ, τον Τσέπα, τον Ντούρα και τον Κακουλή. Ποιος ήταν να φάει?
Well, it depends on the system. And if we're playing one up front, then that means 3 out of the 4 ain't playing.
Και ποιος ήταν να δεχτεί να μην παίζει? Ο Matt is a player. He said the interview, when you interviewed him, Stel, like months ago, I want to play. I want to play all the fucking time. I want to play 90 minutes. Even if I get subbed on the 90th minute, I'm not going to be happy. So what does that do to Gaguli? What does that do to Dura? What does that do to Chepa? So, εν τούτα πράγματα πρέπει να σκεφτούμαστε, ρε φίλε. Εν μπορούμε να σκεφτούμαστε μόνο ότι ναι, και εγώ θέλω και δεκάρι, και θέλω και center for killer, και θέλω και ένα center back με έτσι αρχίδια, και θέλω τα, ρε φίλε. Αλλά δεν μπορείς, δηλαδή σαν να πούμε που ντύνεσαι και βάλεις πουκάμισον και στερα φορείς καπέλον και στερα φορείς γούναν και φορείς και σάλιν και γίνεσαι όπως τον πάτρονο στο τέλος, ρε φίλε. Πρέπει να αποφασίσεις τι θέλεις. Θέλω να πάω με το στυλ ή θέλω να πάω με το στυλ. μπορείς να κάνεις ούλα, ρε φίλε.
Αφού, listen, ο ίδιος είπε μου, he's not going to come to Omonoia να κάτσει πας στον πάγκο. Right? 35 χρόνια, how many years has he got left? Καμιά χρόνια είναι, he's going to retire. Yeah? So να έρθει Omonoia, ο Matt, και να κάτσει πας στον πάγκο, δεν γίνεται. It's not going to happen.
Δεν γίνεται, ρε φίλε.
I think fans in general need to relax.
No, because they saw him score against us. Because they saw him score against us. Money, we should have done this, we should have done that. But this is what I keep saying. How do you lot know that he's not going to get an ACL injury? How do you know that he's not going to get this? You don't know. You can't foresee the future. Okay? Which is why I'm saying we've got players that are happy to rotate. Now, I'm not saying that Matt is a selfish person by any stretch of the imagination. Okay? He's a team player. But like I said, he's at the tail end of his career. Okay? He's gone to Ajax where they're guaranteed in first team football, okay? Starting every game. We couldn't do that. We couldn't guarantee it. So it's not fair on the guy to bring him in, tell him, oh, yeah, we're going to play you every game, and then he's going to be sitting on the bench for half the fucking time. It's not going to work.
It was going to be a luxury, man. It's a luxury to have Matt Derbyshire on the bench, man. It's a luxury. Even though he could have, been the one that decided all the games. On the other hand, this is what it is. And I'm saying again, me as a fan, when we played against Antwerp and we won 4-2, it was a game that I as an Omonoia fan, and Chris concurred to what I was saying and agreed to what I was saying. I loved what I saw. I saw Omonoia attacking through the middle, through the flanks, scoring goals, being first on the 50-50s, having passion. But a few weeks later, we're going back to what we were used to the last couple of years. And this is it. Πρέπει να υποστηρίξουν την ομάδα, τον προπονητή και τους παίχτες, επειδή τούτον έχουμε, ρε φίλε. Έχουμε στρατιώτες, δεν έχουμε αρχηγούς. Η Ομόνοια είναι μια ομάδα η οποία έχει παίχτες οι οποίοι they're soldiers. This is what it is. We're just soldiers. And we don't have leaders. We don't have people who are going to να κρίνουν τη ροή του αγώνα με μια τους κίνηση, με μια μου. Πρέπει να πηγαίνουμε ομαδικά. Μπορεί να αλλάξεις 5 παίχτες και να θονίζεις ότι παίζεις το ίδιο στυλ. Εντάξει. Αλλά τούτον είμαστε. Είτε μας αρέσκει, είτε μας αρέσκει. Οκ, τούτον είναι.
I keep seeing a lot of Dura comments. Εν το καταλάβω. Και εγώ σαν οπαδός βλέπω το. He doesn't score goals. It pisses me off. Αλλά βλέπει τα. He needs to be backed because in your psychologia, νομίζεις ένταση πας στη κελέντου, έβαλω τέρμαν. What about the next game? Jahonede. We're not doing any good to him. I understand. He's not scoring. He does a lot off the ball. We need to back him.
But my question is, right, if you look at his goal scoring record over the years for various clubs, is he like 1-2 or 1-3 or 1-4? I think didn't he get 6 goals for Anorthosi the final season he was there? Before he joined us.
Yeah, he had 14 the season before.
Right. So, but what I'm saying is that if you look at his goal scoring record throughout the seasons, are you talking about a guy that comes in that is like for like with Matt? He isn't, is he?
No.
From a statistical perspective, are they the same? They're not. So, all right, listen, I think this has dominated the conversation for way too long. As far as I'm concerned, right, we're not looking at this game in general, which is what we should be doing. We've gone 45 minutes. I think we need to wrap it up soon anyway, right?
Yeah, I was about to say.
Bottom line is, right, we've had a good performance. Bashiru for me, was a standout player. He was fucking brilliant.
MVP.
Absolutely brilliant. Yordi needs to get some praise as well because I think these two complement each other very well in the middle of the park. I think because Bashiru's got that engine, kind of like what Gusul has, it makes Yordi's job easier. Well, you're doing that. Bemo.
Different. Bashiru is a... Okay. Ο Bashiru είναι, ας πούμε, Lamborghini και ο Κούσουλος είναι διπλοκάμπινο που μπαίνει μέσα στην
Εγώ στην τρέιλερ ο Κούσουλος.
Εν τρέλο ρε φίλε, ο Κούσουλος είναι το four-wheel drive, είναι ο παίχτης μου. Δηλαδή, if I ever had to build a team, Kousulos is going to be, back in the day when we were playing football as kids in Cyprus, παίζαμε ένα πράγμα που επάταν ο ένας έκαμνετε το στη Λεμεσόν, εσείς δεν ξέρω, εσείς είσαι μητσής. So when we were playing in the neighborhood, we'd get like 15, 20 kids and you would put your foot in front of the other, and whoever stepped on each other's foot, he would choose the first player. You know, I don't know. He would choose the first player.
Εγώ έφτασα το πολωνικό, νοστιαμέ.
Δεν ήξερα να μπουν το πολωνικό ρε φίλε, αλλά εγώ αν ξεκινούσα την ομάδα μου, εντάξει, ο πρώτος παίκτης που να πιάνα μες στην ομάδα μου ήταν ο Κούσου ρε φίλε. Ο Κούσου να πάει ας πούμε με μαχαίρι να του πω ρε Κούσου μου, έχει 11 και είμαστε δυο, πάμε ρε γαμοσχιστό μου, να βάλει ο μαχαίρι μας τα όνια του και να πάει. For me, Κούσου is irreplaceable.
When I say engine, I mean like his energy levels. Like he goes up and down the field. I'm not saying like Bashu is a battering ram. You know, when Gusu was first in the team, when Gusu was first in the team, he reminded me of this Iranian kid that was in my class at school called Omid Narani. Right? He came onto the football pitch and he just smashed everyone. That was his job. So that's what he said. Central midfield, just smash everyone, Omid. And he was like 6'5" at like 15 years old. What the fuck is this guy doing?
What's a man?
He goes, I do good kick today. I do good kick. I'm like, yeah, you did a good kick. The kid is on a fucking stretcher, but he did a good kick. Yeah. Got flashing blue lights. What happened to him? Oh, he's just Omid. Well, yeah, boys, let's wrap it up, man. Before we wrap it up, remember I was telling you about my friend. Yeah? I remember I was telling you about my friend.
Your friend?
My friend.
I'm waiting for this.
The Katy Perry.
Fucking hell, mate.
There we go. Listen.
I'm not ready for this still.
Come on, man. Frankie, she's pregnant. She's about to give birth. There you go. Katy Perry. See?
Wow.
Beautiful girl, beautiful person as well, man. Lovely girl. And her husband, Karim, top bloke. Karim almost caused World War III.
What?
Well, let me tell you a quick story, okay? So Karim is a hairdresser, right?
Okay.
And a few years ago, he had this poster in his window with Kim Jong-un, right? Okay. And
in England.
Yeah. But the what's it called? The caption was "Bad Hair Day, come in for haircut," all that kind of stuff, right? So he's put this in the window and he's cutting the guy's hair. No, lo and behold, 3 guys from the North Korean embassy walk into the shop, right? Because the embassy was around the corner. And they go, "Can you take it down?" He's like, "No, fuck off. This is my shop." So they were, okay, whatever. And they walked off. Now, the person that he was cutting his hair was actually the Evening Standard reporter. He didn't know this. He goes, "Oh, can I write a story about it?" He goes, "Yeah, no worries." So he put it in the Evening Standard. Next thing you know, CNN are there, BBC are there. They're giving him interviews. For the next 3 or 4 weeks, he's looking under his car for bombs, like he's shitting himself like that. So yeah, that's Karen. Yeah.
Maybe that's what we should do. We should do a podcast about Kim Jong-un and then get all the fucking attention.
I'll get Karen one, no problem. You'd love to do it, mate. Well, boys, listen, it's been a fucking fantastic show. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you for tuning in. Hit that like button, subscribe, tell your nunna. It's a great point away from home. We're happy. We've gone on for 48 minutes. Roy, Chris, thank you for jumping on. Plug your shit, Roy. Chris?
Yeah. Follow DJSTS Michael, my boy here, right? Don't let me channel mu don bello mu don moromu. Na don buklo mu bulu komu bueno eno securitas mas. That's it. Follow my boy Stel. That's it on Instagram. Cemela redo quiero. Dame do.
Pedro.
Until next time.
Ναι, περίμενε τώρα τελειώσαν, τώρα είπα σας για τα ονόματα στα Instagram σας. Πάμε σιλάκα μου αμόθηκια όλο μου μέσα.